Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the webinar, February 18th, 2015. We have a lot of new visitors this evening, so welcome. Tonight, I wanted to spend about a half an hour describing some of the changes going on at Second Nature, Entrada, and Cascades. And what we're going to go over this evening is the launch of our new name and the launch of our new website, and talk a little bit about what this means and where it comes from, and be able to provide everybody with a nice bridge from where we've been and what we're doing now to where we're going. So, welcome, and I'm excited to announce it tonight. I'll talk a little bit about the history of Second Nature because this is not a complete reinvention of what we're doing. It really is building on what our experience and our observations have taught us over the years. So back when Second Nature was new, the thing that set us apart that I think a lot of people take for granted is the flexibility of our program. That we decided early on that set lengths of stay and set days of the week for admissions were not going to be an important part of our program. In fact, crises don't happen at a certain day, or they don't happen when it's convenient. So we decided to open up and decide from the very beginning to treat everybody individually in the process. A lot of what we built it on was this idea of customer service, which is a strange word for therapeutic programming, but really it was about communication, making sure that everything that we did, we communicated well with the professionals that the families were working with and with the families themselves. And so we found early on that a lot of the boundaries that people set in business around wilderness therapy and therapeutic programs and called it boundaries was just an excuse for not communicating well. So we've been committed to that since the early days. And of course, we weren't the ones to invent clinical sophistication, but we really accelerated the process at Second Nature in the early days and decided that we were going to bring in therapists and staff that were very well trained and very well educated in therapeutic models and really lay a clinical picture on top of the wonderful delivery method of wilderness therapy. And something that has evolved, that started off early, but has evolved, is our level of family support. Our family programming is an incredibly robust program from in the early, right from the beginning, having families, parents in the field during their child's wilderness therapy programming. Family phone calls, buying satellite phones and cell phones and making those phone calls with children in the field, with young adults and children in the field, available to their families. We started to create regional parent support groups. So throughout the country, we travel and we have small support groups for in areas where there's a lot of our clients and alumni, to be able to offer them continuing support and also to be able to offer them important support in the early days of the program. Parent mentors, parents who have volunteered after graduation and have been trained by our parent coordinators now offer our parents, and have offered for our parents for years now, a helping hand in those difficult early days of the program. National parent workshops, of course, have been an important part of our parent support program. And we embrace the use of technology to support our families, from the parent portal and posting letters online in the early days of this use of technology to now these webinars. Our parent portal is one of the most robust, if not the most robust programs in the country, offering videos, pictures, group journals, and assignments, and an interaction between therapist and parent at home. And then, of course, offering these webinars for parents for their lifetime, for the rest of their life, and offering twice a week. It's our goal to have 2 live sessions per week. One is a question and answer where they can bring any topic or question to the table for me to address, and one that is a topic that is selected. We have over 230 webinars with topics that therapists can assign and that parents can peruse on our website to be able to identify a need or a title or a question that they have and be able to go and watch that. And then some of you may not know, we provide those also for siblings, and we have a few for family members, extended family and friends, so that parents can include the extended family in the loop and get more support and help educate them about what this kind of intervention does for them. The quality of staff training was something that we committed to early on, and an unmatched, I can say this confidently, an unmatched commitment to research in the field of wilderness therapy. From Matt Hoig and Katie Massey to our entire research team, we have been committed to studying progress in the field and follow-up study up to 18 months, and we're in the middle of our second study. And these studies have contributed greatly to the NatSap body of research, and also we have had these published and presented at professional conferences and published in peer-reviewed journals. I always said from the early days of Second Nature that I thought what made it a wonderful place to work at and an exciting place to work was not the innovation of yesterday, the deciding to try something new that we thought would benefit our clients, and not even the things that we were doing today, but the things that we would do tomorrow. And that's really where this leads to. We wanted to build on our history and embark on a journey to discover new possibilities, to try new things, find ways, ask questions. How can we better serve our clients while they're in the field and provide that for them afterwards so they can sustain the gains that they realize? We wanted to take what we learned and add what we could imagine possible. And so tonight I'm going to be talking about our new name, which for us represents our identity, represents what we want to embody. I'm going to introduce you a little bit, give you a preview of the website. It's scheduled to come out in the next few days. We have it on our calendar to come out Friday, and it'll take a while to propagate over the weekend to show up everywhere. But this really, for us, embodies this new brand, this new idea, embodies all the principles that I'm talking about tonight. We wanted to ask ourselves difficult questions. We wanted a greater focus on whole health, body, mind, and spirit. We really want to make a commitment to organizational health. And that's a phrase that I borrowed from a friend to say that if the health of the organization, emotionally, communication, and respect, doesn't start at the top and doesn't show up everywhere, then it's hard to do that kind of work, the important kind of work that we do with families. So we're committed to that. And then we wanted to ask ourselves questions and find new areas where we could provide clients and families the highest quality of care. For the parents that are with us now, what you can expect, this really has been in the making for some months. In fact, we announced to our professional colleagues in September this reorganization. And we've been taking this long to develop this new concept, this new brand, this new image, and that's what we're going to be rolling out tonight. So you won't recognize much of a difference except for when you go to the website on Monday. You're going to see some links to the Evoke Therapy website, and you're going to be able to go there. Evoke Therapy, this is the new name. It's the founding principles that we wanted to embody was providing the best possible treatment for each client's whole health and comprehensive family support. Continually being a transformative program and company, using our inherent connection to the outdoors to facilitate lasting change in all of our programs. So welcome to our new logo and our new image, Evoke Therapy Programs. And temporarily it will have this title underneath that says the new name for Second Nature, Entrada, and Cascades. And it's going to be opening soon. Like I said, it's opening in the next few days, and we have it scheduled to open up Friday midday, but it will take a while for everybody to be able to see it across the country. Eventually, our wilderness therapy programs will simply have the logo that's listed here, Evoke Cascades or Evoke Entrada or Evoke at Cascades or Evoke at Entrada. Probably is one way that we might say it when we're talking about it. But Evoke Therapy Programs is more than just our 2 wilderness programs. We're also going to be beginning new programming. Before I go on to describe some of the new program, I want to talk about our identity. These are some of the words that we identified as we were trying to decide what do we want to build, what do we want to start, what do we want to reimagine. And these are some of the words that we all came up with as partners. We wanted to have a commitment to being responsive, to being innovative, to being courageous and intentional about our interventions. We wanted to embody integrity and be supportive with all of our clients and their families and their extended families. We wanted to bring our experience and be committed to high quality. We wanted something that was going to be life-changing for everybody who touched it and also effective and supported by the research. We wanted a program, another new addition or new piece of identity is our commitment to being socially conscious, to using recycled material for our marketing materials, to utilizing local food and growers and gear companies so as to reduce the transportation and shipping that is often associated with this. We wanted to associate ourselves with smaller companies committing to reducing the carbon footprint for all of us. We partnered with socially responsible companies. One here I have here as an example is the company Sherpa that provides some of our gear that's based in Nepal. And then, of course, like I said, we wanted to embody and demonstrate this organizational health. So sometime after Friday, when you click on our new webpage, evoketherapy.com, it's going to look like this. This is going to what the landing page is going to look like. It's a video down beneath. You'll see at the top right that there will be a Second Nature Cascades and Entrada logo that will change to the Evoke Therapy Programs logo. There'll be 3 small paragraphs that describe some of our founding and core philosophies. The menu will be at the top left, and this menu expands. I'm not going to show you every expansion of the menu, but we've looked at our Second Nature information at our website, and we've said what's the most important thing that we can do to make this simple and accessible for prospective families and also for our current families. So we've improved upon that. Some of the new programming that we are beginning this year, one of them is a program called Pursuits, which is a young adult 28-day program where Some of our former staff who are also incredibly talented and experienced adventure leaders are going to take young adults on some adventure trips. And it's not necessarily a clinical program, but really for people who want to experience a refresh or a boost or a reconnection to the outdoors. So they'll be doing a lot of adventure activities for 28 days in the summertime. And the leaders, like I said, the adventure leaders that are there are incredibly gifted staff that have worked with us over the years. So they bring both their experience of the outdoors and adventure trips and also their experience of communication and healthy functioning and group dynamics with them. Another aspect that we'll be starting this year are our parent, couple, and family intensives. Like was stated in our identity and the core principles at Evoke Therapy Programs, we're going to have a difficult time saying that for a while. We wanted to always be able to remain connected to our belief and confidence in what outdoor and nature can bring to healing and to growth and to transformation. And so we're going to take families in the summertime and couples who want to do couple work. We're going to have some time in a cabin, and then we're going to move them out and do some experiences outdoors and talk about couple relationship and couple challenges. And then we're also going to have parenting, the same kind of things for parents. They don't necessarily even have to be associated with Evoke Therapy Programs. They can be, but they don't have to. This is an independent program of our Wilderness Therapy Program or our Pursuits Program. You may have heard of this also, but Dr. Jay Huffine in our Cascades program is also has already begun using adventure activities. Jay commonly works with children who struggle with school refusal, with social problems, with autism spectrum disorder issues. And what we believe is by intentionally selecting this group to have some adventure activities that we can improve some of the outcomes. So something this is not an adventure therapy program completely. This is a wilderness therapy program that's based on the primitive living, nomadic wilderness programming. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some of these adventure components, and we're going to make them close to the field area. And Cascades, if you've been there to the Bend area, has wonderful connection to these kinds of activities. So Jay's going to be able to provide that. Dr. Huffine's going to be able to provide that for his clients without compromising what we have found to be, through our research and through our experience, an effective treatment approach, which is traditional wilderness therapy approaches. Some of you have asked, as we've announced this new organization, who is where and what's going on here. And this will be, of course, on our website, and I want to make it as clear and accessible for all of you as possible. The partners at Entrada and the partners at Cascades that have been working at those sites remain at those sites and remain working in the same role. I will be working with both of those programs in addition to that. So these are the 5 partners that work with our 2 programs, our 2 wilderness therapy programs. Some of you may know a lot, or some of these clinicians. Some of you might recognize a couple of new faces, but I wanted to introduce you to our clinical team and hope that you get a chance to know them. I was just at NatSap recently, and I was so pleased to bump into and to talk with a lot of our former therapists that work for us at Second Nature. And there's this rich history at Second Nature of this enthusiasm and this powerful training and this powerful exposure that we're really happy to have been a part of in the field of therapeutic programming and wilderness therapy. So here are some of the therapists that we have. Here are all the therapists that we have. In addition, here are some of the clinical assistants, and Katie Massey over there is our main research person, and she's fantastic. In fact, there's a saying in the community that when somebody asks us about the success that we're having with collecting research, we say the success is based on Katie. You just need to go hire a Katie. Here are office management and also parent coordinators. Some of you, many of you know that you have a parent coordinator assigned to you when you enroll your child at Evoke Therapy Programs. So these are those people. If you haven't seen their picture yet, this is them. And I want to pay special attention to Melanie Lynch. She's the one behind all the scenes. In fact, she just made this picture available to me today because she works behind the scenes creating all of this, creating all of our media and print material. And she's fantastically talented and wonderful to work with. And it's wonderful to have a fresh set of eyes on everything that we're doing. Most of you will know one or all of these people. This is our admissions and outreach crew. These are the people that you talk to when you want to get into, when you want to enroll or ask questions about any of our programs. Stephanie Lewis will be focusing primarily on the Pursuits program, so she'll be the first point of contact for those. And Stephanie is also my moderator on here tonight. And thanks for being here, Stephanie. And here's some of our other leadership. Some of you may know that we've hired Laura Gilly previously. at our Entrada site, and now she is the psychiatrist for both sites. I have here also the medical directors for both our Cascades and our Entrada sites, and the field directors for both of those sites as well. So we're really excited about it. It's a little bit scary and a little bit fun and a little bit of everything that we get to try to figure out and start in a way from scratch. Although we have this incredible program and this incredible foundation that was built with this second nature philosophy and second nature energy, and now we have the opportunity to launch to the next step, to evolve to the next step, to evoke therapy programs. I'll probably make the mistake a few times of calling it the wrong thing, but that is what it's called. And from now on, we're excited to provide you with a clear picture so that there's less confusion about who we are and what we do. Some of you that by the way, don't join our webinars, this is something that we do every time we talk about upcoming parent support groups and workshops and the people to contact. So we do those all throughout the country, like I said. I won't go into those a lot. We ask all of our families to attend 6 12-step groups to support parents who are dealing with children who have addictions or other problems. Our social media, we always make this available to people. Right now I have a mix of things that are second nature, and of course we're launching our Facebook and our Twitter accounts this evening. So we'll be launching those and ask all of you to like them and join them. We're still going to be maintaining a presence on the Second Nature Wilderness Therapy social media and website for some time. We're going to allow for some transition. It's such a wonderful history, such a wonderful brand, and we want to take advantage of that until such time that the Evoke Therapy name is very well known and known by all the people who have found success using our program. So, and also we're going to change some of the Alumni Foundation information in conjunction with them. They're going to work on it. It's their foundation, but I have this page on here every time because if you buy a parenting book, a book about children from Amazon, please go to our Alumni Foundation page. It costs the same as it does on the regular Amazon page, but 10% goes to the charity to support families who can't afford treatment. Upcoming webinars, I'll be doing an open forum next Thursday the 26th. I have to take some time off for some travel that I'm doing. And then coming soon after that, we're going to be introducing Evoke's Wilderness Therapy programs to family and friends. So I'm going to create a new webinar that you can share with your family and friends that has our name, our logo, and our look to it. So when you're handing it off to people, it will make sense since you're at an Evoke Therapy program. So Stephanie, I don't know if there are any comments and questions that you want me to respond to, but I'm happy to do that before we close. I was more nervous tonight than I have been ever during a webinar. What are groups at each site? What age groups at each site? Both of our Entrada and Cascades program have adolescents 13 to 18 to under 18 and also 18 and above. In fact, at our Cascades site, in Michael Griffin's group, we have 17 turning 18, so it crosses that line, so you can have a 17 and a half or 17 and 3/4. But we have young adults and adolescents in both of our groups, both of our sites, I'm sorry. And they're separated, of course, except for in the one group that I described. If you would like to, by the way, have access to our webinar library, please email, you can email webinar@drbradreedy.com and request those, and we'd be happy to make those available to you. And again, those are available for our alumni live twice a week, and also for their lifetime to maintain support. Blue Ridge and Uintas will still run under the Second Nature moniker, so they're going to retain that name and they're going to go on functioning as they will. I don't work at Blue Ridge or Uintas anymore, although I remain a partner. I'm a silent partner, not a managing partner at those sites. I'm working with the folks. I'm a managing partner and an employee at Evoke at Entrada and Evoke at Cascades. So Blue Ridge will go on doing the great work that they've been doing for years. And parents, by the way, I should make this clear, parents who enrolled before October of 2014 will have also lifetime ability to Evoke's webinar library and Evoke's live webinars. That's something we're doing. Just returned from an overnight visit in the field, and I wished that I was able to spend 3 days with my son's student and staff. It was an amazing experience to be out there in Second Nature. What an experience that was to interact and to be a part of the group. I felt The more time you spend in the field with the group, son, and therapist team, the more it will allow time for openness, connecting, and opportunity to execute skills in real environment. We absolutely, that's something that then inspires us to start these family programs and these parent programs, is when our parents come for visits, they talk about the feeling that they walk away from and the experience of being outdoors and away from all the digital distractions. And so we want to add to the services that we provide by allowing parents to sign up for their own experience and to sign up for their own. Sometimes the slides go backwards this evening, apparently, so I'm not doing that, but it's happening. So yeah, so we want to be able to provide that with and aside and apart from our Evoke, Cascades, and Entrada programs. That's a very common experience, and that's what's inspiring us to do, is to provide some of these other services. Describe what Evoke therapy means to you. I think Evoke therapy, what it means to me, an important part of our parent curriculum, and that's primarily my job, is creating parent programming and parent curriculum, is this concept that I'm not the expert in your life, meaning I don't tell you what to do. I don't give you advice. It is my job to help you discover for yourself the truth of things. Part of what I do is facilitate a process that allows you to find the truth, to find your truth, not my truth, not somebody else's truth, but to find your truth and own it and be responsible for it. So the word evoke is about pulling out or creating an experience for somebody where they can find access to their own wisdom, not somebody else's wisdom. Because if we all are spending time getting advice and giving advice, we're really not building the tools and skills to be able to create an enduring source of truth, which is yourself. And when circumstances change, the questions come up again. We want to provide the proverbial saying of, we want to provide the skill and the tool to teach you how to fish instead of giving you a fish. So evoke is about pulling out from the client. It's about creating an experience for our clients rather than an explanation. And that's really fundamental to experiential therapy, adventure activities, wilderness therapy, all those things, is we want to create an experience that evokes or pulls out emotions or awareness or insight instead of giving or explaining it to you and providing it for you from an outside source. So that's a lot of where the name evoke comes from, this idea of pulling out. It's like what Michelangelo said when he talked about sculpture, that it was his job to remove everything in the sculpture, everything from the marble that was not the sculpture. And I think that's what we see our job, is to help people find access to their core truth, their core self. So that's a lot about where the idea of evoke therapy comes from, is to provide an experience that evokes an emotion rather than an explanation or simple advice. You know, I'll say something while I'm waiting for the next thing that goes with this, which is, it's not about technique. You can't fake it. It's merely about um, creating opportunities and experiences through a committed, disciplined, self-reflective involvement with clients and parents. So there's no one solution. There's no one answer. There's no one right way to raise a child. And I can't decide that for you anyway. In fact, it's a part of therapists, clinicians. It's a part of their ethical standards that they not provide advice in regards to important life decisions, but we rather teach you how to figure out what feels the best for you and what's right. We might talk about trying it a different way. We might point out skills. I always talk about this idea that parenting skills don't change children, they change parents. And so part of what we're providing for you when we're providing skills and tools is something that's going to evoke a change in you. And that change in parents that can happen from new skill development, new awareness, does have wonderful impact on our children. But it's really important to understand that the focus always at Evoke Therapy programs, for parents, for parent education, is asking yourself the difficult questions and trying new things. A point person for more questions. I'll click out of this real quickly, Stephanie. You can contact me, of course. I think a great point person to talk about this would also be any of our admissions and outreach folks here can answer more questions, but you can also contact me or Rick Heiser for more information. You can find our contact information on the Second Nature site, snwp.com, or after Friday sometime, you can find it on evoketherapy.com. With both Entrada and Cascades be offering the 28-day adventure group for adults, what about family couple programs? These will be run out of the Entrada office, but they are their own programs. So we're sharing some of the staff, sharing some of the resources from our Entrada branch, but they're their own programs. So the intensives and the pursuits program, the adventure program, run out of the Entrada office. So, and I'm going to be, for now, I'm going to be running all the intensives, all the parents, couples, and family intensives for now. That's going to be my project and the program that I'll be working at most of the time. I'll still do these webinars and still work with the other programs on other things, but that's the one that I have a lot of passion about. Is anything changing with the aftercare recommendations for options with this new change? Shouldn't be. I mean, this has been going on. Remember, for those of you who are new to it, this has been going on for months now. It's just not been formalized by a new name and a new website. But no, the principles that, I mean, I think what you'll see as this formal change occurs is you'll see a new name, a new website, a new brand. You'll see some new programming and some new words. And I think over time, like in any process, you'll begin to seal and feel a tangible difference as we go in our new directions, as they go in their directions and we go in ours. So I think that it will develop and evolve as we go. But for right now, from this week, last week to next week and the week after, you're going to have virtually no noticeable change except for the cosmetics and us using the name and the logo, you know, when we talk and when we print things about it in our business cards and so forth. So right now, it's really all everyone at Cascades and Entrada, everybody are the exact same people that have been working at it for months and years. Nobody's changing in regards to this new name, this new brand, this new website. But it was fun. It's been fun to kind of figure out what do we want now that we're going to go in this separate path, this new path. What are we going to do? How are we going to name it? How are we going to think about it? And we really love and enjoy this process. Although it's scary, it's humbling. It's a wonderful opportunity to start again, to define ourselves intentionally all along the way. As a Uinta parent, I'm still welcome to participate. If you were admitted to the program prior to October of 2014, you are welcome to attend all the live webinars. Same setup with us. You still get to. Really, it's the Evoke family is part of the Second Nature family. So you have access to the archives. I believe at this point, this is what I've been told, they are going to offer the archives. At this point, although they may change this, they're not going to be offering live webinars. But if you were, like I said, admitted to the program prior to October of 2014, you can have access to all of our webinars going forward, including the live ones. What different training will your therapists have, and where will they get it? I suppose one of the differences will be that part of my job is to supervise and be the clinical director of both programs. So for better or for worse, they're going to get more of me. I've spent more time in the field over the past several months working with new therapists, even with our partners and our clinical directors of our individual sites. I'm working more with them. And again, and you'll see this on the website when you go to it on Friday after a Friday, you'll see that we're going to be embracing new ideas and new concepts and continually growing. A lot of our focus on mind, body, spirit is a new emphasis for us. Our relationship with the concepts of Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey aren't new to Second Nature as a whole. In fact, they've been the crux of the Footsteps program at Blue Ridge for some time, but that's going to be now a part of and a backdrop of all of our programs. So I think you're going to see the training is just going to be our flavor. It's going to be this spirit, and going to be, like I said, asking difficult questions, being willing to adjust if we need to take the ego out of it, to take the fear out of it. We don't want to teach fear. We don't want to live by fear. And so part of what we're all doing is saying, let's ask every question. Let's consider every option. And so I think what you'll see is a real enthusiasm. What we've noticed over the past few months as we've really functionally separating these ways is that I can't speak for the Blue Ridge and Uintas folks, but we've seen a reemergence of enthusiasm in our group. And part of our reorganization was it started to become a pretty big partnership group, and we lost what I like to think of as our agility. Right? That's a large group of people to make decisions, and so this one is going to be our side for us. I'll say for us is going to be a lot more agile than it was, so we can be a lot more responsive to things than we've been able to in the past, working with a larger ship, so to speak. We can be able to make turns and respond a little bit quicker. And then also, some of these new projects, some of these new features, some of these new aspects are going to inform us. The fact that our research team is going to stay committed. Our research team of Matt Huygen and Katie Massey are going to continue to be committed to research. And we believe in the maxim that what is observed improves. And so our commitment to following and continuing to develop research projects is going to be a part of our identity going forward. But in terms of the therapist, it will just take on the flavor of those pieces that I shared, those concepts that I shared, and the people that are there. So that's what it'll be. One thing that we're committed to on our side also is sending our therapists and employees to programs, to conferences for more training, and even offering them opportunities for their own personal work, because we believe strongly that it is critical for all of us to do our own personal work. In fact, we're hosting a workshop for professionals later this year, and in fact it's in April, first part of April. And part of the theme of this conference that we are hosting is doing your own work so as better to be able to better provide for your clients. And you can't make that separation. You can't not be doing your work and providing the highest quality of work and services. So that's an example of something. We're bringing in some people from some places that do personal growth workshops, and we're actually inviting, they don't have to participate, but we're inviting our staff, our therapists, and our guests to participate in that, including participating in their own AA meetings or their own Al-Anon meetings or their own yoga or their own meditation. So again, that idea of organizational health, that idea that a company's philosophy, if not embodied by the leadership in the company itself, can't provide nearly as good of a service, nearly as good as a process for their clients if they're not involved in it in any way. Everything that I've learned that's important, my education gave me language, but my own work is what informs me really about people. So we're committed to that. Will the same academic program be offered to gain school credits? Absolutely, yes. Same credit will be available. You can search our website for all the details of that when it opens up after this Friday. But yeah, same credit, same academic opportunities for all of our clients and students. Will the vote continue to follow the phase patterns of second nature, earth, fire, water, air? We still will use the exact same metaphors for our stages of growth. However, there will be an overlay, and there already has been for some months now, for several months now, a greater emphasis on somebody's mind, body, spirit plan. So that becomes a part of it. The food that they eat, the yoga and meditation practices that we practice out in the field, learning how to cook, paying attention to your body, learning how to be present. Meditation, this is the wonderful thing about meditation. Most people think about meditation in terms of sitting in the lotus position. That is a sitting meditation. But really what wilderness therapy does, and what we want to make intentional, is that meditation can be a talking meditation. That's what the I feel statement is. It's a concentration, a focus on what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I'm believing. There's an eating meditation. It's called mindful eating, where you taste and pay attention to the food. You learn to pay attention to your body. So yes, we will follow those as our metaphor, but we will have a broader and greater emphasis on the mind, body, spirit aspect of mental health and spirituality and emotional health and intellectual health. And so much now is, of course, out there about research. We have a health and wellness coordinator, Elise Mitchell, at our Entrada site, who's been an incredible influence on our programming, creating concepts around mindfulness and mind, body, spirit that is research proven. So we're really excited about that. Please, how to access archive webinars. Well, you'll be able to access them on the parent portal. That's one place you can do it. So if you're a current parent, that's where you access them. If you're a former parent, and in this case, any Entrada and Cascades parent, and any Uintas and Blue Ridge parent who admitted to the program prior to October of 2014, you can email Stephanie Lewis or Gail Bromlett Right now, their email addresses are slewis@snwp.com or gail@snwp.com. Or after Friday, you can email webinar@drbradreedy.com, and you can ask for access to a lifetime membership of the webinars, and we will provide them for you, including the live and the archived ones. I can't walk you through the site right now, but you can search it by term, you can search it by subject heading. The last 5 are listed on there. I've done over 700 webinars since 2007. We save the topic ones, and sometimes I redo them. That's why there's 230 to 240. We save the question and answer ones, the open forum. We save those for a few weeks, and then the sibling ones we save for a few weeks also. There are a few that are unpassword protected, and so those are some that you can share for family and friends. Some professionals, some consultants, some therapists will watch them to learn more about us, because there's such a misunderstanding about wilderness therapy. People don't understand that wilderness therapy is experiential therapy. It's a delivery method for all the traditional evidence-based therapies that are out there. It's not punitive. At Evoke, we have a sharp focus, a dedicated focus to not being punitive or shameful or guilt-based for our clients and parents. So it's really a compassionate, safe, effective approach for adolescents and young adults who much of their trauma, much of their pain is not conscious or verbal. And so why is verbal talk therapy the way we would access them? We would access them through experiential activities. I have a couple of webinars on that too, on how talk therapy and experiential wilderness therapy, how it becomes more effective at accessing trauma and pain in the unconscious or pre-verbal parts of the brain, whereas talk therapy sometimes can be limited in that way. Will the 360 wraparound program still be offered? And if yes, how will the East Coast families access that with Blue Ridge not part of the group? The Second Nature 360 program is not a part of ours on this side now. So that'll actually be associated with, I believe it's Dan McDougall and Devin Glissmeyer and Cheryl Kale. I believe those are the 3. So the 3 active and managing partners at those 2 sites, you can contact them, but you can still access the Second Nature 360 program like you can any wraparound program if you're at Evoke, but you would contact Beth. Beth is the one who's the point person. I don't have her email address here. Maybe you can list Beth's here because she's the admissions counselor, but wouldn't matter which program you could go to. You could go to Second Nature 360 from here or from there. Also, with the parent groups that I regularly do in New York, I'm going to be doing in Philadelphia, in Washington, D.C. Jennifer Graham does them for us in Northern and Southern California. I'm going to be doing them again in Chicago, Dallas, all of the major metropolitan areas. I think we've identified 13 throughout the year. Again, if you're a Cascades or Entrada current family or alumni, you're welcome to come. If you went through, or excuse me, were admitted to the program prior to October of 2014, then to Uintas and Blue Ridge, you're also welcome to come to those programs. Please watch for our announcements on our social media. That's one way you can always stay connected to us. And as we transition from Second Nature's social media to Evoke social media platforms, and like I said, we'll share it for some time, you can always find access to what we're doing and what's coming up. So we value our extended access to webinars. Can you explain lifelong access? As long as I'm alive and doing them, or somebody at Evoke is doing them, you can have them forever. In the early days, we had it stop a couple weeks after graduation from our programs. But what happened with the company that provides us is they changed our account so that we weren't being charged per hour for those. So we thought, why not extend those? And we have a lot of families who will watch 30 and 40 hours during their child's 9-week program. And we have families, and there's several on here, who have been out of our program for years, who come back to get a connection, who come back to remind themselves, who come back to ask questions, who come back to really connect back to the wonderful experience they had with us. So lifelong access means as long as we're doing what we're doing, you have access to them. And contact slewis@snwp.com, gail@snwp.com, or webinars, is it webinar? Webinar at drbradreedy.com. Those are 3 ways that you can gain access. It's all going to go to Gail anyway, but those are 3 email addresses. Please tell all of your staff in the field and at office they rock. I will be sure to pass that on to them. Several of them are watching with us tonight, so thank you. I mean, one of the things that I love about Evoke Therapy programs, and it's such a wonderful place to work. It's such a powerful, loving, supportive place to work. And I will miss a lot of my old friends at Second Nature Wilderness Therapy Program and the admissions team that I worked with very closely, Terry Snodgrass. I'll miss Terry, and also miss Shahara Davis, Kelly Dunbar, who now works for them. And I want to express my gratitude for Devin Glissmeyer and for Cheryl Kale for giving me the opportunity to become part of the Second Nature team shortly after it opened and be a part of growing it to what it is now. And I'm excited for my new adventure, and I have confidence that we and they will be very successful and very happy in the new roads that we're taking. So I'll miss a lot of the people back there, and a lot of the therapists too. A lot of the therapists I'm very close with, and even since I've been working with the Evoke programs on this side for some time, talk to them and have even made some recommendations to their therapists on that side because I believe in them. Anything else, Stephanie? Are we done? All right. Well, thanks, folks, again. Thanks for joining us tonight, and I'll get back to my regularly scheduled webinars soon. Make sure you go to your 6 meetings. Make sure you stay connected with. Please go to our Facebook and Twitter on our Evoke side and like us so that you can follow us so that you can keep updated with the new things that we're doing, and you can also connect with us there. Thanks for joining us this evening. Welcome to Evoke Therapy Programs. Welcome to our family, our friends, to the professionals that we work with, and to all the clients that we have. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.